You've sold over 500,000 on Skool, from $100 a month to five figures a year. What makes an offer easy to sell, no matter the price point?
Yeah, okay. There's a few like tactical things that when you're on and obviously I do sales calls, right? For people who don't know, like sales calls is the way when you're talking about, organic and ads, and it's a little bit different. But when it comes to a sales call, having a good offer is one thing, but then actually having a good offer on the sales call is another thing. And I think the biggest needle mover for me and our sales team, and we've done, thousands of sales calls now, is to get people in on the first call to save time. It's having a reason to buy on the call. So what I mean by that is, look, we do this thing. You'd say like, hey, we do this thing where if you can get started with us today, we actually give you some sort of bonus. That's really powerful. And then if that's not enough to say, hey, if you do this today, you get this, you can actually back that up with a guarantee. So it's, hey, you can have this thing, and if you don't like it in the next 2 weeks, if you're not happy, you get your full money back. So it's like a bonus and a risk reversal, which honestly is the reason we were closing close to like 70% with like low ticket, and or honestly like 50% with high ticket, because we have these bonuses and the guarantee in place as well.
And then with bonuses and guarantees, I feel like a lot of people might hear that and be like, that sounds salesy or
hmm
like pressury. So how do you kind of go into that conversation without giving off that vibe?
Yeah, I mean, I call it out. So just tell when you start telling people why you're doing something, it's weird what happens. Like genuinely, it's almost like when we went for the Skool Games. Like the best strategy for going for the Skool Games is telling people you're going for the Skool Games, and people will buy because you told them the reason of why you're doing something. So when I'm in this situation of like, hey, look, I know this sounds a bit salesy, but we actually have a bonus where if you get started with us today on today's call, you get XYZ. And you can actually back that up by saying, hey, look, I do 10 of these calls a day. My team does a bunch of these calls, or we do a bunch of these calls every day. If we had to follow up with everyone that, needed to think about it or needed a couple of days to speak to someone, I'd physically lose my mind. And then you tell them, hey, so we have this bonus and we have a guarantee. So it's not sales. It's like, hey, there's a guarantee in place. The risk's completely on us, not on you. That's the best way that I've found to do it.
That makes a lot of sense. And I feel like a lot of people kind of beginning, especially with sales calls, are mostly afraid of just kind of, slick back hair, call
Mhm.
salesman. So it's like, how do you kind of generally not come off that way?
Yeah, it's it's interesting. I've been going back and forth with this like quite a lot because sales has been taught such a way, and then I think the like car salesman vibe has well and truly left. I think there's no salesman that are really doing that anymore. But there's this like new generation that like are asking these questions, but they're becoming the new salesman, right? So when they're asking questions like emotional, like, oh, and if you could get to this goal, how would that make you? What would that change about your life? And does it, would it help your family? And digging super deep and just asking very, very upfront salesy questions, which we all know is salesy now. Like we've a lot of people, especially the market. I was watching a video recently, like the market, the trust in the market for like online education is definitely like lower than it used to be. Like in 2021, 2020 with COVID, you could just sell anything and no guarantee and just like sell a 10K PIF. But now the trust is a lot lower, and you need to stand out in sales. You need to not sound like every other sales guy with these emotional, questions. So I call it wrapping. So basically, not wrapping as in like rapping, but I call it wrapping the question as in
Mhm.
wrapping it in fluff. Um, so you can ask similar sort of questions, but instead of them all sounding exactly the same, you're basically it flows more like a conversation rather than it being an interrogation, honestly. So that takes a bit of practice. I'm still trying to perfect it, but it's you still want to get to the information of like why someone is on the call, where they want to go, why is it a priority, why invest? Like all of these questions are very important, but it's just how you ask them that I think needs to change so you can sound less like all these other dudes.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like it's almost, it's not necessarily about what you say, but it's just about how commonly people hear that thing that you're saying. So
Exactly.
if it's like a pattern recognition kind of thing where it's more
hmm
about so many people are saying the exact same thing and they've been sold to before, then it's just the same conversation over and over again. It's just gonna
Yeah. It also
I think
just what's it called? Like it raises red flags as soon as they hear like a salesy question. They're like, "Oh, dude, this guy's just like he's just following a script." And no one likes being like sold to, right? No one likes having someone just using a script against them.
yeah.
Um, so yeah,
And then you were talking about like going for the school games and everything like that. Talk
yeah,
me kind of through that and the different times you've done that.
yeah. It was crazy. I mean, we were selling a low ticket at the time. Obviously, we've moved to high ticket now with a new product. But at the time, we were called School Masterclass. So some people watching this will know what that is. But we were selling a low ticket, and it was chaos. Like we made $230,000 in a month, so in new monthly recurring revenue. We had a mastermind that was $1,000 a month. We made 100K in mastermind sales. Uh, yeah, I mean, going for the games was crazy, and we honestly didn't sleep. Like the last 2 or 3 days, like we just didn't. Especially the last day, we actually didn't sleep at all. But we would be up doing sales calls because we'd want to cover Europe, and because we were in LA at the moment, which I'm going to come to in a sec, 'cause I think that's really important. But we were in LA at the time, and we were just like, bro, it was chaos. Like the last week was no sleep. It was just pure stress for an entire month. And even our launch, what I really liked about our school game stuff, I don't know if it's too relevant, but it's cool. Like we were number one from minute one, and we didn't give it up once. Like we did a launch and we kept it till the end of the month, which I don't think anyone's ever done.
How'd you do that
Um,
launch?
yeah, launch was cool. It was basically just like a pre-launch, right? So we changed what we do now. We changed the group to paid. So nobody could physically buy the monthly for about a week before. So people were kind of getting like pissed and they were getting like, what's going on? And we were like, hey, no, there's a wait list right now because we're about to launch the School Games offer. Aaron, our editor, cooked up some absolute sauce. Like he cooked up some really cool VSLs and like promotion for it. Um, and yeah, it was we built a wait list of about 1,000 people. And then once the game started, we because it was like late in UK time, so we just stayed up for about 4 or 5 hours. And so we said we wouldn't go to bed until we hit 10K, I think, or like 8K or something. I think it was 8K. So we did 8K in like 24 hours on a $125 product, which is ridiculous. So that was the launch, and then the school games, and then the real key difference. I think the reason we won, or I think the main reason we won was flying out to LA to spend the last time week with each other, or the last 5 or so days with each other. That really opened up a level of like productivity and just drive, like just being in a boiler room. Like we called that Airbnb the boiler room. It was like for people who make 250,000 a month, it was not it. Like it was a small we had to share a bedroom. I shared a bedroom with Aaron. Um, it was tough. Like genuinely, it was tough. Um, but the cool thing was like everyone was just sat around the kitchen table, like sat around the living room, like taking calls, just all in the same room. Dan was taking calls on the lounge outside. So it was a lot of fun, and I think just that there's something to it, and it's also the benefit of the school games, which is just like being in proximity to other people. I think that literally changes your life when it comes to this stuff. It's all well and good like doing it online, but as soon as you meet up, you can really achieve some crazy stuff. Like, dude, we'd film an ad with a fire truck. Like, we just ran outside and started filming an ad with a fire truck. Like, this offer is fire, and yeah, it was just meeting up was definitely the one takeaway that I want to pass on this podcast. And just one more thing, if anyone on the podcast wants to watch that, there's like a full like 3-part documentary like with the school games breaking down exactly how we won, but it also is behind the scenes footage of that, so that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And then in terms of the IRL stuff, right? Like, how often do you meet IRL? What's like, is it just like one time just for the
Mm.
games, or like, is it important? Who cares? They keep pushing IRL, and the schoolers is like, oh, okay, another IRL post that got jammed. It's like, why does this even matter? Or does it
Yeah,
matter?
I mean, there's a difference between the IRLs that are going on in school. Like, I think they're great. Like, bringing schoolers together. And I went to one in London. It was pretty cool. Um, But then in terms of our IRLs, like we as a team meet up IRL just for vibes, just to like brainstorm. We always get more. It's weird. We get more like planning done, so we get really, really good planning done. So we plan, the next 4 months of the business. We get some really good ideas going, but sales just tank. So every time we meet up, we're like, oh, the next 2 weeks are going to suck because for whatever reason, we just never like post the YouTube videos. We don't take as many calls as we should. Um, we go karting and stuff. So like it's weird. Like the sales tank, but the business kind of ideation grows. So we meet up. I'd say once a quarter right now, on average. We meet up for our mastermind events as well. We're doing our next one in Miami. Um, so that's one time we always meet up, and then we normally meet up a week before the mastermind event just to like hang out. But I think we are looking at considering a lot of us are planning to move countries, which I'm not going to get into, but there's a lot going on. We're looking at doing more in-person meetups and eventually have an office like a HQ like Skool, which would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. Completely unbiased.
Yeah,
And
and I guess
then
on the point of the IRLs, like if people are watching this and they haven't been to an IRL, they should just definitely go to an IRL. People are doing them for free. People are doing them slightly paid, like very cheap. It's just the fastest way to make friends in the space, and that's normally very high leverage.
yeah, I agree. I also feel like as someone that didn't do IRL for like the first 8
Mm.
months or something, it kind of makes you go insane. So I would recommend going outside. As funny as that sounds, just because, like, obviously since school is an online platform, when you go IRL, it kind of makes it real. Like it cements it in your head, and even if you have like 100% conviction or like commitment to whatever you are doing on school, hobby plan or selling money or whatever it is,
Hmm.
I feel like getting around people that are doing something reminds you that it's like actually real because there's just something about being IRL. I don't know what it is.
No, I agree. I agree. It's so powerful. Like the first time we met up was the the Skool Games in July. No, June. No, it was June. And it was like such a crazy surreal feeling. Like I'd never been to like the US before. And I agree, like it's weird when you meet people from online. Like Max always talks about it. It's like kind of strange. But they're just people. Like they're just like meeting Max to me was like super scary, but it's like he's just a normal dude. So
Yeah.
like I think there'll be people who are like scared to do IRL, but there's just people are just people, man. Like it's so easy. Just head out there, just talk about school. School's such a common. Everyone's doing school, right? So if they meet up, it's like at least you have something in common that you can talk about.
Yeah. And then in regards to going outside,
Mm.
obviously you went to the school games and everything like that. Kind of walk me through outside of the day ones or like the games recordings that are on. What are
Yeah,
kind of like the behind the scenes and what kind of golden nuggets you kind of pick up?
the day ones are really valuable. Like, yeah, Hormozi knows what he's talking about. It's weird that, but yeah, he does. So they've obviously changed a lot. So, like for context, now it's not maybe as like intimate as they used to be. We used to just be like 20 people, 15 people sat in a circle around Hormozi and just Hormozi would speak.
Sounds like a cult.
Yeah, a little bit, right? But I mean, I'm all for it if it makes us more money. Well, um, but anyway, like, yeah. So now they're not as intimate. It seems more of like a presentation, which is cool. There's a few questions with microphones, whatever. But it used to be more, yeah, just Q&A for like 8 hours. So, there's a lot of value to be had there. You can watch every Hormozi video, but it's, he covers everything, but also if you ask him the specific question to you, it seems to hit home a little bit better, right? Even if he said it before on a YouTube video. So that's really valuable. I mean, the Skool Games mansion, we never stayed there because we wanted to stay in our own place. But after going there, like that was pretty cool. Again, it's more of networking. It's just meeting other people, and I know a lot of people who used to just get clients by just being in that area, like being surrounded by schoolers, because they would help school communities and being in the Skool Games, being in proximity, it just gives you authority, that you're actually serious and you're there, right? So yeah, it was good. The Skool Games mansion was fun. There was some pretty crazy mansions. I don't know if they do that anymore. This is what I mean. I think they just do a hotel. So I don't.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't. I think it's very different. But I mean, it's definitely not just what happens at the one day. It's more so like, the people you meet and then you branch off and you go for a dinner or you go for drinks or you go and play golf or whatever. I don't know, like whatever you want to do, right? So yeah, I think it's cool to go for the school games. They've made it a lot easier now, so go for it.
Any slightly weird question, but any
Yeah.
kind of behaviors that you picked up from Sam and Alex, which is kind of hard to see online. So I feel like whenever I go around IRL, it's
Yeah.
very easy to kind of pick up on just like real nuances that you don't necessarily get to see, or it's like really hard to spot when you're just kind of talking to them IRL, or you're like, sorry, online, or just like watching a
Yeah.
video from them.
I would say Hormozi, the only thing I've noticed that he's actually pretty funny. I mean, I know he is anyway from YouTube because he
Yeah.
started to open up a little bit more with his jokes like on YouTube, but he's actually pretty jokes. Like he's pretty funny. Like he makes pretty good jokes. So he makes the room laugh at least a few times. Like it's
Mhm.
something that you don't necessarily see him in the YouTube videos because he's obviously very serious. But he does still make jokes on YouTube now. So yeah. And then
He always
Sam,
seems mad on YouTube days.
he's very similar in real life though, bro. Like it's very similar. Like I say this to people when they ask me how was meeting Hormozi. I just say it's like watching a YouTube video IRL, but the
Mhm.
only key difference I'd say is that he's a bit funnier in real life.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I'm not going to tell this story actually. I was going to. Now I have to. But we were asking him about like one of our team was asking him about children, and he just wrote like children on the board. And then he made jokes about it like the entire day. And then the second time we went back to the school games, because he never answered the children question, he asked him children again, and he remembered and he made a joke about it. So it was super funny. And that'll probably be in the recordings. I don't know, but maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And then
I'm
Sam,
pretty sure
right?
you made the
Sam,
same joke.
yeah, we made the same thing twice, which is hilarious. Two separate occasions. But Sam, oh dude, I love Sam. Sam's great. Um, I would say it's hard to see his passion. I mean, it's not that hard if you know him, but I'd say the key difference for me from not meeting him to meeting him was like I didn't really know like how passionate he was about how do I say this? About like school's core beliefs, which is making the best product, not spending a bunch of money on wasting it on a bunch of stuff. Like we've had so many interesting conversations about how he's saving money here, saving money there, pays his staff really well, um, building school lean, so not adding a bunch of complicated features because you can I remember him saying you can add one feature and ruin the whole product. So it's just the attention to detail on like the big vision, which I just never saw before because it's very hard to see that unless you watch every podcast of his, which I didn't. Um, so yeah, he just cares a lot about school and cares a lot about the vision and where it's going. And I think that the what is the it's for the most or something. The best for the most, or maybe you know it. But whatever their
Uh,
slogan is, it really makes
Best for the
sense.
most, for the least.
For the least, there we are. Yeah, yeah. I think that nails it. That's really cool.
Yeah, and then going back to, selling and everything like that,
Yeah,
how would someone make their first sale?
yeah. On school,
Yeah.
I would say. Okay, well, let's break it down. Right, first thing is we need like a model or like a pricing model. So I wouldn't do low ticket if you're just getting started. I think it's bad because you need an insane amount of traffic to make any good amount of money. So if you're just getting started, I would go with probably like a mid ticket or a high ticket coaching. So what I mean by that is either like a $1,200 for the year, or just skip the community and go straight. And this is gonna be controversial, but it's what is probably the best. Is skip the community for now. You're gonna come back to it and go straight to one-on-one coaching in whatever it is that you do. Right. So for example, yeah, we're gonna get traffic. So say I don't know where you guys are getting traffic from, but say you have like YouTube, Instagram, ads, whatever, and we're driving some traffic to. There's like two paths here. You can either do a free community and then upsell from the free community, or you can just go straight to like a VSL landing page. I think both work. For the sake of a school podcast, we'll talk about the free community. So traffic, YouTube videos. I'm not going to dive too deep into that. Whatever you want into a free community. And then I would just offer free one-on-one calls to everyone that joins a free community. So this is something I made a post about recently. It's called like the value call versus like sales call kind of dilemma that you have. A lot of people in school can just start with value calls, and I would make it relevant to your niche, right? So say I help people. I use this example all the time, but let's do golf instead. So say I help people with golf. I wish I was good at golf, but let's say I help people with golf, and
Max example.
right, and then somebody joins the free group, and it's like Golf Accelerator. I would offer a free one-on-one golf swing audit where they can jump on a call with you, they can play a bit of footage of their golf swing, and you can deliver some promised value. And then on that call, I would simply, again, if you guys want like a written version of this, it's in that post that I made on Schoolers. But I would go through like a script. I would ask some discovery questions. I would figure out why it's important to for them to get good at golf, what they've tried before, have they ever invested in getting help, like in coaching. Um, yeah, why they actually want to get good. I think I said that one already. But like, what's the goal? Like, what is the actual goal behind it? Do they want to play with family? Do they want to play with friends? Whatever. And then have a presentation that basically highlights that, hey, I'm going to help you one on one if you want. I have options. I have 5 spots left. You know, if you use scarcity, it's really good. I have 5 spots left for one on one coaching with me. And it would be like 5K for the year, but or 5K for 6 months, whatever, or 3K for 6 months. But for you, if you want to get started because I'm just starting this thing, or because we're doing an offer, or because I want you to be a founding member and I want you to give me feedback on this, I'll let you in for 1,500. So you can basically create this offer, this founding members offer, pre-sale offer before you've built any community to basically sell one-on-one coaching to serious people, and then use the feedback from those people on why they're there, what their pain points are, what they want out of the program or the support or the training, and what they struggle with, and build a good product around that, and then eventually sell that. So let's zoom out the whole way here. We got traffic, free community, offer a one-on-one free value call to anyone that joins, give them a really good offer and a guarantee. I didn't say that, but and a guarantee, why not? Like, hey, 1,500 instead of 3K, sell 10 of those, make $15,000, use all that feedback, because now you've got money, you can pay for the main pro plan. Like, wow, that's cool. And then you can use that feedback, what they're telling you, the 10 people, the founding members, about, hey, I need this, I need this, I need this, and build a really good product, and then just sell that product for the annual price. Or if you want to do monthly for whatever reason, you can do it then. But to get started, like if I was in a crunch, I wouldn't waste my time selling $100, $50 a month. It would take way too long to make any money. So I would just do that.
Cool. I mean, I think that makes sense. But let's say I'm someone, that knows their niche, been in there for like 10 years. I'm an expert. I know what I'm doing. Why not just make a course? Because I know what people need, right? I know what they need.
Yeah,
So
sure.
why not just make a course and then sell them that afterwards?
Yeah, you can, by the way. Like, I'm not saying you can't, but there's a few things, right? Like, I've seen this with experts, and I'm not saying anyone watching is not an expert, but yeah, a lot of people like don't know what they need. Like they actually don't, and they think they know, but there's no like they just think that they've not actually proven that the market wants it, and they haven't done all the foundational work because they've actually coming in with an ego almost of like, okay, I know what they need. Let me just build the course. They launch the course, or maybe they launch a free one, and then nobody joins. And it's like, why did no one join? Um, this is obviously like a lot that we help people with because it's like it's just so easy to get caught up on this stuff. But like creating a compelling offer, having a good avatar, finding a good avatar, having an offer in the right niche, like all of this stuff is so important. So look, if you're 100% certain, you've maybe even sold a course before it, then jump into it. But if you wanted to do that, then I would still sell a mid to high ticket product. I wouldn't waste my time on monthly because you have to fight churn. You need a lot of traffic. So unless you have a huge following, and in some cases, if you have a massive following, people like Nick Serev, who's number one on School or number two right now, it makes sense for him. But I also have a bit of a controversial opinion that if he just sold high ticket, he'd make way more money and work with less people and live life easier and not have to deal with churn now, which is obviously happening if you look at the MRR. So that's a controversial one. But yeah, I think most people benefit more from doing a mid ticket to a high ticket. Mid ticket is for, say you have like a basketball community, like we've helped people with a basketball community, and it's like very hard to charge high ticket for that stuff. I completely get that. Like if it's a hobby thing, you can charge low ticket, but you can also just get away with charging annual. And this is obviously something I highlighted in my post as well, which is instead of, if you're dead set on monthly, which a lot of people watching this will be, which is fine, sell annual first. So when I'm on the call with you, it's like, hey, dude, yeah, to get started, it's $1,000 for the year. And then they're like, I can't do that. It's like, okay, cool. Well, money aside, would you be able to do it? Like, is it something that would actually get you to where you want to go? You handle the objection. And then you boil it down to them physically not having cash in the bank to be able to pay for it. And when it's like, dude, okay, look, I don't really do this anymore, but if we could set you up on $100 a month just to get you in so you can start getting to that goal, would that help you out? And they're always going to say yes. So just by having an annual price, I know I'm on a tangent here, but just by having an annual price, you will sell more monthly anyway. So yeah, long story short, if you know your niche and you have good traffic, try monthly, but at least try selling annual first. And if you don't know anything yet, or you don't really have good traffic, I would still start with a high ticket coaching called a vibe, and then transition that into a product. Because I didn't mention this, but once you've worked with 5 to 10 people one on one, the likelihood you get a testimonial from those people is very high because you're working very closely one on one. So proof sells, right? The only reason we sell so much is because we have a wall of testimonials. So proof sells if you can generate 4 to 5 testimonials at these initial founding members, you will be able to sell the product because you're using the product as a proof of concept for your process of what you teach. So it's like, hey, I'm doing one-on-one coaching to prove the concept of the process of what I'm going to teach in the product. And then once you've done that, the testimonials are still relevant for the product because it's the same process. It's just less one-on-one support.
Yeah, I also think you should probably set that expectation up front because that generally works better. Just like, hey, if this does work out, a testimonial would be great, especially with those first people. Because I think reviews are kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? The first ones matter a lot more than the ones down the line. So it's like,
I agree.
if you have 0 reviews, then goddamn, I am not, get away from me. But if you got like 10, it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. But it's like, the difference between 0 and 10 is so much bigger than the difference between 900 and 910.
Well,
And
100% agree.
yeah,
Yeah, it's there is a word for it, which I don't know either. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. It's definitely higher leverage to get them early doors.
and then what would you
Cool.
consider mid ticket or high ticket?
Okay, so yeah, mid ticket, like I said, that's the 1,200 for the year, that kind of vibe, like to 1,500 down to like 1,000, and then I'd say high ticket is like really high ticket is anything over like 5 to 10K.
Mm-hmm.
Even that isn't really like in my mind considered high ticket because 5K over a year is like 400 and something a month, 400 something. Yeah, I don't know the actual number, but it's pretty cheap, right, for monthly if you broke it down. But they obviously pay up front, so I'd class 5 to 10 to 15K. There's high ticket, anything above that, obviously, and then mid ticket can be like your annual traditional pricing. Um, yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, some of this path.
fuck off, bro. I'm not selling you that fucking pen.
Why do annual over monthly? Because you keep touching on it,
Hmm.
and I feel like so many people kind of, including me, MMR just it sounds cool. It sounds way better than AIR. So why do annual?
Okay, I don't know how much I want to pop off on this. Let me think. So the first thing is people care about MRI. It's like, oh, dude, like I want to. It's almost like this fallacy that they just want to stop making sales and then have an endless income for life, like passive income of MRR, which just never happens. Like you have to keep making sales. Um, so yeah, like with the MRR. With ARR, for example, it's like, hey, I can make a bunch of sales, but then you start zero next month. But it's like that's what you're doing. You're growing a business, right? So you want to make sales every month. That's kind of the whole point. Um, like we did 280,000 last month. It's not none of it's a bit of it, but none of it's really monthly recurring revenue. We start again from scratch, but because we're making sales, it's still like we're getting paid every month because we make sales every month. We're growing a business, so I don't know this monthly recurring thing, and just like like a pre thing. Like if people want to do monthly, like do it. I'm just we've been down this rabbit hole with hundreds of students and ourselves, and monthly encourages low quality people. I mean I don't know how else to say it. If someone pays monthly, I do it. When I'm buying a software, you will never catch me paying annual because I might not even want it. It might be rubbish, right? So I just pay the monthly plan, and if I don't like it, I'll just refund or I'll just like cancel. And that's what like selling monthly does. It's like it's a cheap way for someone to get in. The counter argument to it would be, and this is a lot of the kind, like with Skool, a lot of the case, a lot of times this is the case. There we go. It is that the information outweighs like the actual community of the place, right?
One-time
Like people,
value versus like
yeah,
frequent.
it actually is like normally the value. People make a really good product a lot of the time. They make actually a valuable stuff, but the community is like it is what it is, or no one cares, and then they just like people just leave anyway. So we would have this in our example, like we would help people get to 10, 20, 50,000 a month, and I would say see their wins post inside the community, and I'd be like, dope, bro, this is sick. 2 months later, they churned for $125 after making 40,000 a month, and like you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense with like offers that help people achieve desired outcomes, and then they can just achieve the desired outcome and dip, or
It's the look
they can
back
get
window,
all the
right?
information. True, yeah, yeah, exactly. Look back window. I can talk about that a little bit as well. They can, yeah, they can just like get all the information, almost download your course if they want to, like screen record it. Some people do that, but they can come into the group, they can get all the information they need, and then they can leave. And they could have paid you $300, or they could have paid you $150 for 3 months, and they've watched the entire course and they can leave. So School's obviously going down the community model and like building like these spaces for people. I think that's great, and I think you can charge monthly for that. But if for a lot of people that I'm talking about and a lot of people we work with, and it's obviously just my side of the internet, is their information. They're trying to build a product to help someone achieve a desired outcome, and by doing that, no one really cares about the community as much. Like it's still very good and it's still valuable to be surrounded by people, but it's the coaching, the support, the product that's actually going to help them achieve the desired outcome. And as soon as you slap a monthly price on that, people just join and leave within 5 months. So that's look back window, by the way. It's like, okay, I can join month one, I love it. Month two, I love it. Month three, this is the best. Month four, I didn't make any progress. So it's like, oh, I'm kind of done with this now. I don't need it. With annual, your starting point is the same. So in 12 months, you just look back over the 12 months. Hey, was I further ahead than I was 12 months ago? Yes. Okay, I'll
But don't
maybe
you
renew.
lose sales by
Yeah,
doing only annual? And that's fine.
yeah. Yeah, you do lose sales 100%, but do you lose more than you make, right? Because this is like the math thing again that I was thinking about. Like, say, for example, you have super high churn and you charge $99 a month and you have 33% churn. So you make $300 a customer, but your annual price is 1,200. Well, you need to, yeah, will you lose 4 times or is it 3 times? 75%. Will you make 75% less sales? I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of point I'm making by selling annual than selling monthly because you need to make yeah, you need to make 4 sales to pay for one annual. There we go. I got there in the end. So you need to make, yeah, 4 sales to make one annual sale. So is
Mhm.
25% close rate versus 100% close rate? Yeah, that's the kind of trade off you have to make. You definitely lose sales, but I'm glad we lose sales because, a group with 2,000 people in it and only 50 of them are actually serious, that sucks. The rest of them are just, and we've seen this like day in, day out. I don't want to complain too much, but like, people join, they don't take action, and then they leave. Like, I know that the product that they're going through can actually get them to where they want to go if they were just a little bit more bought into it, if they actually believed in it. And when you charge low, you lower the perceived value of the product as well. So if you have something that can genuinely get someone to an outcome, you should charge what it's worth and only work with people who are actually going to get the result, right? Because at the end of the day, we're not just here to make ourselves money. We're here to like deliver on the promise that we make. And I had this conversation on a sales call with someone the other day. It was really interesting. I basically said, he's like, oh yeah, but I want to help the most people. So I don't really know if I want to charge high ticket. And I was like, I told him, I think charging more high ticket, maybe not full high ticket, but like more annual, will help more people because it will attract people that will actually take action and it will make it seem more valuable. And because if you charge $100 a month, people would, his outcome was crazy, by the way. It was like a really crazy good outcome. And I was like, people won't even believe that's true. They won't even believe that you can like help them achieve the outcome because you're charging so low. So that's like 2 cents on that. I would at least have an annual price. That's a starting point. Even for all of the people selling monthly, have an annual price because it price anchors your monthly. That's cool. But if you do want to work with more serious people, less people, but charge way more, so you get way more money anyway, because you're even though you're working with less people, it's never like enough to make less money. Like, we increased our price a bunch and we dropped our sales a bunch, but now we make more money because we increased our price. So yeah, I think that's my 2 cents on it.
That makes sense. And then one last question on every podcast. What's your biggest hear me out about sales? Biggest hot take?
Hot take.
Yeah.
I actually think we kind of covered it. I'm really bullish right now on this don't be salesy thing. I get a lot of compliments saying, um, I get a lot of compliments saying, thank you, sir, thank you. I get a lot of compliments saying from B2B people, like, oh, dude, you'd actually like the reason I bought was because you didn't like hard sell me, you didn't whatever, follow a script. So I think I'm really bullish on that. Um, my heart's what is like a controversial opinion that I hold about sales? Nobody wants to do. Yeah, this okay. It's a more controversial opinion about everyone
Sure.
and anyone who starts online business. And this comes from some of my sales Q&A meetings. So I don't. Yeah, this is something I see quite a lot. So it's actually backed with evidence. You guys know what you need to do to like make money with Skool or like make money with sales. It's just they do everything but things that need to move the needle. And this is like pretty calling people out, but like I want everyone to make money and make sales. And sometimes it feels like everyone just avoids doing the hard thing and it's not scalable and it's whatever. It's like, I haven't got it's not a priority. Like the number one needle mover you can do is get traffic and book sales calls. And even if you don't want to do sales calls long term, how bad do you actually want to hit 10K a month? Because if you, and this is way too quick to do the math in my head, but if you take 5 calls a day and you close three and you do that for 3 months every day, you think you get 900 members is the point. And 900 members can be, I don't know, whatever price you want, but that would be a lot, right? That would be a lot of money. Um, so I think my kind of final closing statement is like everyone should just start doing sales calls and eat their like get rid of their ego. And even if you're charging $50 a month, do like 100 sales calls and close like 50 of them and make like 2,500 and just, like bite the bullet. It's not scalable, but it's not meant to be. Like do the hard work and find a way to scale it. Because yeah, we didn't really believe in it either. And then we did 40 to 80K a month in 1 month. And I just know that there's so many people I speak to, and this will be my final bit, but this is, so many people I speak to that if they just started doing some freaking calls, they could close them. But they're all trying to set up these webinars and these email sequences and their about page. And like, bro, just, it's not easy. Like, it's hard. There's a reason this is like exceptional. Like, there's a reason most people don't make money online. Like, you know what I mean? So that's kind
I
of my point.
think the way I like thinking about it is scalability is almost a forced option.
Hmm.
So it's kind of the last thing you consider. I mean, look at Hormozi, right? He's doing the day ones. It's like that's an entire day. An entire like you would probably charge like 200K for that. It's like for the Skool Games, you know. They used to do those
Yeah,
monthly. It's insane. But it makes
that's crazy.
sense. If it makes sense, it makes sense.
Yeah, profound. But also, I think just
I am a genius. Thank you very much. It's my
yeah, yeah,
podcast.
insane, bro. Clip that shit.
Put it on WAP. Not associated.
Yeah,
Clip phone.
just do some fucking sales calls, bro. That's kind of my point.
Where should people check you out?
YouTube's probably good. I'm gonna post a lot more on there coming up. So yeah, I'll link it. I'll send you the link for this video. It's at Miles G Jones with a capital G and J, but I'll just put the link in the description or something. And you guys can watch some YouTube source. I basically talk about Skool and sales. Yeah, kind of
Dope.
relevant.
Bye.
Sweet. Bye.